trigger warnings for minors in not safe workspaces, slurs, suicide, and guilt tripping. Do not harass Vinnie or people mentioned that I will be discussing in this video. What I am talking about in this video is concerning behavior that I am pointing out, and public information which is not classified as harassment. Hello, my name is Michael, or Mikey, and I would like to clarify things on an individual named Vinnie, also known as Vinnie Plays, Vinnie's R09, or VA09. He is active in Discord community, specifically the SRB2 and our communities. Despite the fact he doesn't have a big following on social media, he has made many impressions on people and to this day is trying to make as many connections with people. I have an issue with this, as he's proven not to be appropriate around minors, has said racist and questionable things, has manipulated and exploited so many people including me. I am making this video as I want others to be aware of his past. I will be explaining my experiences with Vinnie, my faults that I will admit to, Vinnie's patterns and behaviors, why I don't believe he's changed. There's a video I wrote the entire script on, also a Google Doc that sums up his behavior and what he's done to others, which will be linked below. I'll still try to make this video sum up what's happening if you haven't watched the initial call out video or read the doc yet. I will also be documenting Vinnie's responses after said video was released. I've met Vinnie, which led to him adding me to a server called the Hooligans. I started being active on this server in early May. He had vented about losing a best friend, and I had reached out to him and sent him a heartfelt paragraph. He started to flirt with me, and even asked me out, and I quickly stopped this as I had a crush on someone else at the time. I was not aware he had a boyfriend at the time, and was also under the premise he was 18. I'll admit my fault to this, and I take full responsibility for my actions and accept the consequences I will face for this. But I did unfortunately send him cropped not safe for work during the time I thought he was 18. Here are the pictures in question that I sent him. I immediately stopped this and deleted the pictures I sent to him, and said if he wanted not safe work from me, he would have to wait until he's 18 in August. For the time being, I just drew him ship out of us because I felt bad he had feelings for me and thought I was doing him a favor. I learned my lesson from this, as I do run a 13+ server now with verification required, like a legal document with your birthday on it, proving you're 18+ to get access to not safe for work. And I absolutely will not send not safe for work to anyone unless they send me proof of their age. Also, while I drew that first picture just to be funny, nothing can excuse the fact that I drew myself lusting over a vulnerable cube that's smaller than the size of a child. From now on, I'm only going to draw suggestive art of characters that are visibly of age. He would continue to sexually flirt with me and others in voice calls, such as asking me to suck him and stuff like that, and I would usually say I'm disinterested and also say I have a crush already. I wish I had just asked him to stop. I eventually found out he and his boyfriend named Pigeon were actually dating. I started to get uncomfortable with him flirting with me as I'd gotten closer to Pigeon. It got to a point where Vinnie was calling me a horrible friend for not drawing him not safe for work in a voice call, and I had a mental breakdown over it. I eventually confronted Vinnie about this, and he never really apologized for it or acknowledged it. Me and Vinnie eventually remained friends until Pigeon releases call-out posts on him, which will be linked in the Google Doc in the description. I was also in the call when Vinnie had explained himself in voice chat about the situation. If I'm going to be honest, he was extremely manipulative by mentioning he was born a mistake, was suicidal, and kept mentioning how everyone hated him. This concerned people in the call. I had reached out to him and hoped he would not only explain himself, but honestly, he not only didn't apologize to those he's hurt, but he guilt-tripped me again. Vinnie has impacted me in such a way that I wish the communities that I am in are more mindful of the impacts they have on others, especially in regards to not safe for work and racism, including myself also. I try my best to look after everyone and hold people accountable when they do something questionable or even out of line, as I don't want to be a bad server owner like Vinnie was. Now that I've explained my background with Vinnie, I'll briefly explain Vinnie's patterns. If you want a more in-depth video on his patterns of allowing minors in not safe workspaces, usage of slurs, and generally inappropriate behavior, initial callout will be linked below. He is allowed in minors in not safe for workspaces, and this is concerning considering not safe for work is 18+ for a reason. Minors are not mentally developed enough to understand the impacts of sex, and Vinnie allowed minors in his server to provide not safe for work content. The red centered username is this user, and they've shared not safe for work in Vinnie's server in which Vinnie allowed it. This is how Vinnie acted around them. Here are some more screenshots of his inappropriate behavior. He has sent not safe for work in group chats and offered not safe for work of people's characters with his character. He turns 18 on August 27th. God knows how many minors he could have repeated these patterns to. He's also said the N-word a lot, and changed the nickname of a black individual to this. He even called an autistic person the R word and used autism as a meme hashtag. He has apologized, but notice how he brings up the fact that he almost ended himself in an apology. Seems like guilt tripping to me, honestly. And he's also manipulated a lot of people. Here are some accounts. After the initial callout on Vinnie was released, what Vinnie proceeds to do honestly shows otherwise, that he's still the same manipulative and deflective person as ever. He proceeds to impersonate someone else's account in an attempt to prove that he's changed instead of admitting to his wrongdoings publicly. Yo, I've been hearing a lot about this drama between you and Vinnie, and just wanted to say a few words on the behalf of Vinnie. I'm friends with him. He's a cool guy, but I'll admit, he has said some stupid stuff. I mean, come on, don't you think you messed up at times in the relationship as well? He talked to me a lot about you, and he was madly in love with you. He wanted to be with you, and couldn't stand to lose you. His intentions were never to manipulate you. I can kinda see what you're talking about. He said some stupid sexual stuff at the time. It was just sexual frustration. We're teens, we have it at times. Though, he did say those things, and regrets saying them. But dude, let it go. It's been 3 months. You wouldn't believe it, but he's changed tremendously. He hasn't been doing anything to you at all, and you and your friends still attack him. You say you're hurt. Instead of healing, you make the war worse. Just move on. You guys broke up. End of story. You may not know this, but he's been working harder and more often in charity cases in case you forgot he did that. He has a girlfriend who's been spending so much time with, who has struggles with her awful life, with living in a ghetto town and with abusive parents, and basically just did a full change. You say over and over that he won't ever change. You don't know him like me and his friends do. Everyone he knows, and even his girlfriend, sees the changes he put on himself, and just finally moving forward in life. Just stop trying to bring your personal problems to the public and deal with them yourself. And also, him being racist, he stopped saying things like that a while ago. Besides, you guys aren't so innocent either. Now, I want you to take this all in the way the individual who has sent these screenshots. I will be explaining why this is problematic. It's already an issue that Vinnie distracts from his wrongdoings by saying, "Don't you think you messed up in the relationship as well?" But he continues to keep distracting by talking about how his current girlfriend is going through abuse, which is basically just not guilt tripping, or being incredibly dismissive to what you've done to others that you've hurt. He also blames sexual frustration as an excuse for why he's mistreated this person, which is terrifying. Many of us do not appreciate you saying irrelevant things not pertaining to the callout at all, instead of publicly apologizing for your wrongdoings. The callout on you was made because you need to be held accountable for what you did. Vinnie had leaked images of 15-year-olds saying the N-word despite not being black in response to the callout video. This is concerning he is not only avoiding responsibility for his own actions, but trying to distract from them by providing these screenshots. He is not any better for doing this, as he is about to turn 18 in August and should have known better. It was also peer pressuring and making it seem like it's okay to say the N-word to people younger than him. There's a documented case below. Here's one example. Yep, this is when I was told to do it by Vinnie himself. It was because he had a secret that I wanted to know, and he told me I'd only be able to hear it if I wrote the N-word. At the time I thought the secret was serious, and since I would usually hang out with Vinnie, someone who would constantly say the N-word, I didn't think it would be horrible if I just typed it into him in DM, so he could just hear what he had to say. I've never told the N-word to anyone except for Vinnie, and I never would. I'm not that kind of person. I do understand saying it was wrong, and I haven't said it since. It was pretty much peer pressure. I understand, and thank you for giving me an explanation. However, you do understand the consequences this would have if these ever got leaked publicly, right? Yes, I do. I'd like to note that at the time, I had barely turned 15, since I was from last year. My birthday is on June 11th. I was young, and being a friend of Vinnie was a horrible influence. There is also a witness to this. Me and others are not bullying you. In this video is simply calling you out for your mistreatment of others. You never once publicly or even properly apologized without guilt-tripping or deflecting blame to us or acknowledge your wrongdoings. You made the video in hopes that you would take this as your chance to actually do so and prove that you changed. You can say all you want that you've changed, with how you're acting right now, it's really hard to believe. You can't even apologize or acknowledge the hurt you've done to other people. Tried to send your followers to just dislike, blindly defend you under the guise that we're harassing you. It's really not that hard. Apologize to those you've hurt without guilt-tripping them or deflecting blame, and own up to your mistakes if you truly want to improve as a person.